Welcome to Nerd Sports, where we discuss topics that provoke thought without any fuss. Team of veterans and a brave civilian unite under Angry Me Productions' guiding light. We are a beacon for those who seek audacious humor, unafraid to speak, celebrating freedom with every beat, exploring controversial issues, taking a seat, navigating life with intellect, not defeat. The Nerd Force always with us, never discreet.
Ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives, week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services, including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much, and enjoy the show.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Yeah, it's just me right now. I'm waiting on the other people, but I start at 7:30 on the dot. So welcome to Nerd Sports episode 174. Now, our weird sport of the week and what we're going to talk about for the first half, I guess, is it's a weird... There's Max. He's just waiting on stuff. But here is our weird sport, horse nursing. Let me see if I can get Stephanie Hawking to describe what I am talking about. I like how I am super underprepared. By the way, I just got off work, getting everything going. And Stephanie Hawking.
Hornison.
That's what we're watching. Hornison. And it's like golf, but let's see if I can get a picture of what they're doing. There we go. See how it's like you're hitting a ball, and I guess you got to get whatever distance. It's like fishing and golf all wrapped in one.
As far as here, or
Do what?
is there any mental capacity requirements? Like, do you have to be a certain intellect to play this? Because that first guy looked like he might have been a little bit,
Down on some chromosomes or up on some chromosomes?
I would say probably down. He looked down.
No, it's Swedish. What's really strange is Swedish has a lot of weird sports because they have like we talked about it one day, and it was basically it was baseball, but it was, if I told you what baseball was, and you just like, oh, I got it. It's like there's one base. There's first base is this this way. It's just weird. It's just all kind of. It's like first base is where third base is. Second base is where first base is, and third base is up in the infield, and then you got to run back home. And you run straight in the middle, run back home.
You almost described the Democratic National Convention tonight to a T. That's
We are not getting into that. It's our sports show, Max. We're going to talk about that later on the week. Do not
right,
do this to me.
which is a sport itself.
Starting this out, Max. Don't do this to me.
It started out weird, right?
It did. It's
No,
already
you
weird.
know, it started out weird for everybody, you know. It did because I mean, it's just going to get weirder as the show goes on.
Yeah.
And it's going to be
Anyway.
super weird and awesome at the same time. But people want to jump in here too,
Well, this is our second time just doing
because
it.
we can talk about sports together, just us together doing it together. Is that what you're saying? Not a weird way.
This is a second. Yeah. Keep on doing that, but all right. No, this is our second time we've had to hold down the show. Isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Now that you mention it, I do recall there being a first time. Yeah. It went just fine. There was no problems. Nobody died. Nobody went blind except for Helen Keller again.
Yeah.
So,
but anyway, NFL. We were getting. This is the third week of the preseason, and a lot of interesting things happen. I don't think it's going to boost on into the actual season. Cowboys did something.
If I may, though, this would have been the second complete week of the preseason. This coming week is going to be the third week of the preseason.
No, this is the third week.
There's only 3 preseason games. No. Third week starts on Thursday. I promise. I wouldn't lie to you. There's only 3 weeks of preseason.
I looked at this today. That was my main goal today. Was look at the NFL stuff. And
when they switched it to a 17-game schedule as opposed to a 16-game schedule, they sacrificed one of the preseason games as that additional game. So
okay, I'm looking
because
at
you're dealing with the NFL.
I'm looking at the NFL website. NFL preseason week 3 of 4. My math might be wrong, but
no,
that
it's not that your math is wrong. It's just that they haven't. I promise you, there's only 3 preseason games, and the last one is coming up. They start on Thursday. They go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, no Monday, and then a week off. And then that following Monday is going to be the
first game is going to be the Ravens and the Chiefs,
which is the 4th game of technically the season or the first game of the regular season.
So this is the last. This is the 4th. This is the 3rd week of the preseason.
Yes.
No. Okay, they had a preseason week 1, and it was 1 game.
They did have the Hall of Fame game.
No, it was the Texans and the Bears. The Bears won it. August 1st. They had 1 game.
But they will still only play 3 preseason games.
Every other team except for like no, Texans played second season. Yeah, everybody but the Bears and the Texans. Because the Texans and the Bears, dude, I'm looking at it right here. I will.
No, it's not that we're giving misinformation. It's just that the NFL has decided to make things as confusing and as nonsensical as possible when it goes to relating this information to people.
Yeah.
Hey, if y'all get too weird, I'm snitching. Oh shit.
Yeah, no, Bella's already gonna. And I don't care. I don't care. What's gonna happen? Nothing's gonna happen.
Nothing bad is gonna happen.
Yeah. But thank you, Bella, for coming into the chat. But and we're not going to get too weird. I mean, nothing really weird happens or anything. But by the by, so we're on the last week on the NFL preseason. Interesting things happen. Can you please explain to me the kickoff rule, the new kickoff rule? I asked you to do it like yesterday when we were talking because we knew we weren't gonna have Johnny, and
We
I
did,
still
we did know that, and automatically that means we don't have Colin.
that's fun. And Chris is a prayers for Chris because he's feeling under the
He's
weather.
not feeling well.
Yeah. But I even watched a YouTube video telling me, and I've tried to have like people at work trying to tell me the new kickoff rule. What is the kickoff rule? It is confusing as all hell.
Here we go. Is there anything that we can pull up, just a kickoff formation of anything, and we can try to explain it as best as we can for like a simple tutorial for educational purposes
I'll see if I can come up
and
with an image.
entertainment purposes, which is what this show is for, of course.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
In the meantime, all right, Dave's got the image, so that's going to be a lot easier with the visual aid, as we will call it or refer to it as.
Yeah, because it's
the
all
gender neutral virtual aid.
okay.
Okay, so if you didn't make it past the 3rd grade, this probably doesn't make any sense to you right off the bat. But let's break it down bit by bit, because that's what we're here for, entertainment and education purposes. So that green area is labeled the landing zone. That is where the ball is supposed to land from the kickoff start line, which is where the ball is placed and kicked from by the kicker. Now, you have this yellow area called the setup zone. That is where the two special teams from both sides meet and engage one another until the ball is physically kicked by the kicker. There is no movement by either one of the special teams units on the field. Now, if the ball happens to go in the red area, which is going to be the end zone, that is going to be considered a touchback, just like you would any other time. The same distance is still going to be accounted for, 25 yards in the case of a touchback. So that hasn't changed. There are no more onside kicks until the 4th quarter, at which point onside kicks will be allowed, but no surprises. You have to announce when you are making an onside kick. That way, that takes away from any type of advantage that you might have had with the element of surprise now being completely gone. So the idea of this whole nonsensical hybrid kickoff was to limit or eliminate the injuries from the game. And based on statistics and analytics, the majority of injuries take place during the kickoffs.
Really?
So, yes.
Because I have
Yes.
not seen anybody get. Yeah. Okay. We're done with that image. But
Nobody explained it like that on YouTube.
huh?
Nobody explained that on YouTube like that.
Yeah, they were trying,
to make that shit like.
I was trying to, in my head, how many times there's like a tackle or anything on the kickoffs? Because usually they get the ball, they kneel. Good portion of the time, or they just get the ball and they start it up with the 40-yard line after that. after they receive it?
That is only in the case of the ball going out of bounds prior to the end zone, which is going to be called an illegal kick, and the ball will automatically be placed at the 40. That is also still in play and has not changed.
Okay.
If the NFL really cared about player safety and wanted to eliminate injuries during a kickoff, then they would simply place the ball at the 25-yard line, and then you start playing the fucking game. Ta-da. And then you don't have to worry about people going full speed at each other head on and tackling and trying to kill one another. You've already set the stage for where the game begins at the 25-yard line, which is where it would have began without having anybody unnecessarily get injured. So
I'm
just,
trying.
it's a sport, it's a
to-
game, but it's also for entertainment purposes.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think of a counter to that on the debate. But in all reality, it makes sense because if you take off the kickoff, I mean, the only thing you have on that kickoff is if you get it and you have an open line and you can run it down the end, because it happens. It does happen. I've seen players go from.
It does happen.
I've seen players go from the other side of the end zone. I mean, it happened in a Super Bowl with the Steelers. I mean, that was the main thing for the longest one because he went 99 yards on that run. And that was, I believe, the opening
Times
kickoff.
that's I want to say that was Super Bowl history memory bank right now is blank. So I would
It's
have
like
to
a
refer
2010,
to the evil
no, it's
empire known as
2010 or 2011 or so. Because they won that because that they started out really heavy and they won that full Super Bowl because that was their sixth one. I know it was the last one. It was after that one, a couple of players
yes.
got off the team and they didn't Pittsburgh didn't fare too well after that.
And
They
I
barely
believe
got.
in 04 they beat the Seahawks, and then they beat the
It wasn't 04.
what the hell?
I didn't start watching
It
the
wasn't the
Steelers.
04 when they beat the Seahawks, so it would have been the 08 or 07 or 08 when not 07 because
Yeah,
that would have been the
it was
Patriots.
08.
So it's when they played the Cardinals
Yeah, it was 08 then.
in 08 or 09.
Yeah.
That's also when James Harrison ran back that fumble for a touchdown right before the end of the half, which was an awesome play.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats, James Harrison. Respect. That was a fun Super Bowl to watch.
It
really
was.
was.
It got me. It almost got me to start watching football again because I can't. I love watching football. The only problem is I get really excited, especially if my team. I get that from.
Who was your team? You're in Texas, so you're kind of like you have decisions like big decisions to make, and if you make the wrong one, then
Well,
I
okay.
believe you're shunned, kind of like a Scientologist.
No, if you're Texas, you're a Cowboys fan. If you're a Texan fan, you're not really in there. There's not much much for Texans fans from Houston, Texans. If they start playing good way, a lot of people are looking at their picks here lately. They kept more or less all the players. I mean, we got rid of one only because there's a reason. Williams. We got rid of Williams to Texans got rid of Williams to the Browns, and yeah, there's a reason why that they did that. I mean, he's a good player, but here's the thing: he comes with a lot of baggage, and we still haven't seen anything as to criminal justice on that one, because there's a lot of women are coming forth of his abuse.
Are you talking about Deshaun Watson?
Yes. Watson, damn it. I knew it was a W. Ah.
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
it's
You're
not.
good. This is why we fact check.
Yeah.
People are over here. Who the fuck is Williams? We met Watson.
Yes.
Deshaun, don't go on a date with him if you can avoid it, Watson. Yeah,
Or
when you
get him.
got over 40 allegations and charges against you,
Oh yeah.
no,
He's still
that's just not
playing.
coincidence. Still
Did,
playing. Hey, that's the NFL for you. That's high standards.
but I don't think he's playing for the Browns, is he?
Yeah, I believe he is still with that awful organization in Cleveland. I'm pretty sure.
In all hindsight, they did pretty well last year.
Not because of him though.
No, he didn't even play. I don't think. I think
He
he
was
touched.
injured, and then you had
Yeah.
the I forgot the kid's name. The young guy who came in. He looked good for a little bit. He beat the the Ravens, and then Flacco came in after being out
What's
and
beating the
took
Ravens is
over.
well, they made it to the playoffs, so I can't really say anything against the Ravens.
Oh, you can say a lot of things about the Ravens, but not a lot of it's going to be great.
Mm. No, they almost won the shot in the Super Bowl last year.
Except they had to go against my Chiefs, and then they looked like absolute dog shit and got embarrassed.
I mean, there is that. Anyways, no, I mean, Texas football in Texas. Most people go for Cowboys. It's Heinz. You're a Cowboy fan.
By default.
Now, this is the one thing, the reason why, because you're gonna have to do a lot of research to do it, is college football. We would have to just do the Texans or the University of Texas.
Longhorn style?
Yeah, we would just have to do the Longhorns or that structure, because there is, oh man, I get so confused with college ball. It is just ridiculous.
There's a lot of shit to believe me. It's a confusing fucking thing. So, brother,
Yeah,
they just
because you can win. You can literally win every game and still not go in the Nationals. That confuses the hell out of me.
Strength of schedule. There's a lot of different factors that they incorporate in the way that they make decisions, what conference you're in, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a
Yeah,
lot of different variables
exactly.
and
Conference.
intangibles that
I don't know why we don't do just the conference.
the best team versus the two best teams play each other, basically.
No. The conference for college ball. I mean, the only other games that me, Johnny, and Chris talk about that's college bowl is Army versus Air Force. We don't talk about the Navy versus Air Force game because usually Air Force wins. And the December, I think it's December 9th this year. Army versus Navy. The first rivalry for football.
The original OG rivalry.
Yeah. Nobody talks about anything else except for they used to just talk about that. It is December 14th. Hopefully I have that day off because I'm gonna have to take that day off. But it is
We can make that happen.
Yeah. I'm taking that day off. Dude, the ticket prices for that game though, it's freaking ridiculous. For the Army Navy game?
How much? What's the ticket price for mid-tier seating, if there's such an availability at this enormous stadium for this game?
Two.
It's in three figures? No kidding.
No. Why
I
is
wouldn't think.
Johnny said it was like $1,000 to go to this game?
Johnny.
And this is at Lee Mountain Hawks at its stadium in New York.
Oh. The Empire State, huh?
Yeah. You're looking at the most expensive seats in the house is like $74. That's the most expensive box
Like
seats by the press box is like $18. They're not expensive, but the most expensive
ridiculous.
is 96. But this is at I'm looking at this at StubHub. So see here.
You hear that stuff, Hub? You looking for a little bit of extra plug?
Oh, that's not
Angry
the
production.
that wasn't the Army Navy game that I was looking at. That's the reason why it was so cheap.
Forget everything we just said about that last segment.
Yeah. Okay.
Except for StubHub.
There's 726 tickets remaining. 2 tickets. And oh wow. Oh wow. This is Commanders Field in Maryland, US. The most expensive, the cheapest seat is one listing for $811. The most expensive so far looking at this is, holy crap. Where is that at? There's a ticket that's 2,000. I'm trying to find it. Someone probably already grabbed it. It's probably on the, yeah. They don't have any listings for like, okay, one listing for one ticket, 2,169. That's the game though for college ball. I mean, everybody's like, oh, it's the national game and everything. No, the game that everybody want to watch for college, and this is the Army Navy game because it's on everybody's bucket list. At one point in time, everybody is like, I want, if of anybody, you could go to Super Bowl or you can go to an Army Navy game. I would still go to an Army Navy game. even though you're going to be seeing me in like a super parka, because I have not seen a game that it was like, I mean that one game when the Army was wearing all white uniforms and it was snowing, that was tactics right there. They won that game.
Yes, they did.
That was hilarious.
Do you still have your military outfit, your uniform?
No, I used to, but I didn't. Ended up doing some moves and I just lost it.
Can we make you a new one? And that way, during the show, you're dressed up as like an admiral?
No, fuck that.
Okay. What about a captain?
No. I don't want to be. I work for a living.
Right, but I mean, I think that if we dress you up,
Okay. Me and Johnny have been doing gentlemanly bets for we do the gentlemanly bets for Army Air Force game. The last couple of years is Air Force has won. But there was only like one game that we actually bet. And it was like, you got to dress like a clown. So I was like, I dressed like a clown. Of course, I was in Dallas when that game was going. I was like, hey, how's the Air Force and Army doing? Oh man. What are you, Army or Air Force? Air Force. Not good news. I was like, I was talking to the 96 linebacker for Dallas Cowboys. Because we were talking politics and we were talking on the podcast. And what sucks, because it was cut entirely off of that episode. I was pissed because I was still new on doing podcast stuff and everything. I didn't have a good enough soundboard that would save the sounds at least. And I was just recording off my phone and getting the sound off of that. I was thoroughly pissed. And I couldn't get a hold of the guy again so we could do it like this. But he was a great, wonderful man. But he was from New York. And we were talking about politics and everything. It was like, yeah, got this. And he loves Texas. He doesn't like Wichita Falls. He didn't like Wichita Falls. only because he was in the training season that they came up here to train in Wichita Falls using MSU stadium, and he sprained his ankle. I think he sprained his ankle, so he missed most of the training.
That happens.
Yeah, but that year I told him, I was like, yeah, it's strange, kind of strange with the Dallas Cowboys coming to Wichita Falls. I said, yeah, our cocaine sales skyrocketed because of you guys, and that was yeah. It was so strange because I talked to cops that were they're retired now, and they could talk about the situation when it happened. And like, man, they had the run of the roost around here, and it pissed a lot of people off. And I was like, I can understand because this town, there's a lot of cowboy friends, but it's, in my opinion, if you're a ball player and you make that much money, you should, work out and don't shit on where you're at. But a lot of those people had like big egos to the point where, I mean, kids go up and get their hat signed or something like that, or get a card signed and everything. There's some of those players I won't mention. They just treat them like shit. The rookies, on the other hand, loved it, but there are some seasoned players that were they weren't having it.
They said, "Fuck this shit."
Oh yeah, not just a little bit of initials. It was a T and an A. You can figure that out. But he it was just the day of the week. He would be good one day and crap the next. And I went down there one year. I went to the stadium just to see him play and everything. And some of the players, you just got that feeling that they're pieces of shit. So they might change.
Yeah,
but
I think there's
I mean, it's nothing. It's not like it's happened here recently at like the Olympics,
right
that you keep on bitching on and complaining about.
I'm not even saying that word.
You did like 60 videos of that crap, man.
And I got strike. I'm on my last strike. If I say something at this point, if I fart and the wind takes it in the wrong direction of somebody that doesn't like what I have to say, I'm Dunsky. That's not a Russian word. So does that mean I'm going to tread lightly? On other people's platforms, like the Angry Me platform, I'm not going to do the same type of things that I would normally do on my channel. Now, that's not to say that I still don't. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and jeopardize somebody else's livelihood on top of individuals that I respect and love and work with in order just for me to beat and pound my chest and try to make a point. That's not me.
Yeah.
I can do that shit on my own channel if I want, and I'll take the repercussions and I'll own it. Doesn't bother me a bit. And the one thing that I wanted to mention real quick is the fact that if people have to take into account one simple, honest, basic truth. And I'm going to explain it in a very simple language that everybody can easily understand. People that are on the social media platforms, whether it's me, whether it's Angry Me Productions, whether it's this person, that person, etc., etc. For the most part, everybody here is doing this for entertainment purposes. You might get some education out of it. Yes, absolutely. There are some actual relevant, serious facts. But I want you to remember this. Not everybody that's on a platform and has got a voice is genuine. They're not necessarily doing things for your best interest. Someone that is on television isn't always going to be telling you things that are truthful and honest. They are pushing a narrative. So just because you see somebody famous on the television or on a social media platform, what they say is not gospel. Do your own thinking. You have a brain. That tool between your two shoulders is the most powerful weapon that you will ever possess. So learn how to utilize it.
Yeah, that was a thing though. When what happened, reason why Max got dinged a lot because he was going up against LeBron James, and there was a thing in the Olympics that I don't know why he did it in the first place, because nowadays everybody has a camera. And if they see someone famous, that camera is going to be automatically. You have to realize those cameras are always on. And what he did was ridiculous. It's just he pushed that little kid. It's like, no, I don't want to deal with that. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude,
A
it's
man
one of
who just came off of a championship
yeah.
and supposed to be a role model, whether he wants to admit that he's a role
No,
model or not, he is by default, simply because of his status and celebrity and how the media portrays him and pushes his narrative while tearing down other individuals' narrative, in particular, two people, Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, and this is sports entertainment. I still consider it sports. WWE. Uh,
Sure.
I see constantly videos and photos of them like either backstage. It is probably just their PR department doing a good job. But just recently, I saw one with Rhea Ripley and Ray Ripley or Rhea Ripley. Anyways, I she's being the I think she's no, she's not she's the baby face right now, I think. But I seen a video of her backstage and the bodyguards or security was trying to keep this little girl away, and she's like, "No, what the fuck are you doing? Bring her over. Bring her over." I mean, Shaq does it all the time. Yes, I love Ray
Rhea Ripley.
Ripley too. Yes. And
I
Shaq
like when you
does that.
do that. Can you do the yes one more time?
What?
Just say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. I like Shaq. Shaq, I've seen so many photos to where it was the security going pushing people away, and Shaq was like, no, no, no. He's giving hugs and everything. Oh man, that's one person I wouldn't mind meeting is Shaq, only because he's so lovable and kind to people.
He does have that portrayal of being that guy. And here's another one. When I posted that LeBron video of him totally dissing this little white kid that's obviously clearly a fan and just wants to take a quick little snapshot with his hero or however he views LeBron. And in retrospect, I showed a video of Caitlin Clark, what a classy athlete slash role model by default does. She signed every single autograph by every single child, leaving nobody out and making sure that she did that. She didn't have to do it, but she did it.
Yeah,
That's class. That's
yeah, that is
professional.
that. I mean, you even got like Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes right now, when he goes into a venue and everything, he gets his own vehicle only because he doesn't want he doesn't want anybody to ride with him. And the reason why he doesn't want anybody to ride with him is because he hates, certain people or whatnot. It's because he stays behind for like he's an entertainer. And he is entertaining the crowd for as long as he possibly can until they shut it down. It's like, hey, because if you get a stadium, if you go for too long, they charge like Fluffy did a Dodger Stadium, and he went over like an hour, and it cost him like $250,000. Mind you, he got paid for that,
Yes.
but he was like he loved the fans, so he wanted to talk. He wanted to have a good fun with the fans. So does Cody Rhodes, but he has a time limit. He's working off of WWE's time, not on his own dime. Gabriel Iglesias is totally opposite. He's like, no, I had fun. I wanted to run Dodger Stadium, and I wanted to do that way. I wanted to do X, Y, and Z. So that's the reason why I did it. I'll gladly pay that check. But he's also getting away from California like everybody else. He's moving to San Antonio.
That's what the smart folks are doing, is getting out of the Communist Republic of California as far away from that shit's blah 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 as you
Yeah.
can, and moving to places that are actually still livable for a nuclear type family, which I think the majority of Americans are probably comfortable with, in my opinion. I
Yeah.
think that right now, up is down, left is right, forward is back, and people have no idea which direction they're going. They're being led by the blind, and a lot of misinformation out there. People are
Yeah, we won't get
easily
into
influenced.
that. That's our
And
political.
and the same thing when it comes to sports, though, is what I'm saying is when you have here's a perfect example. Whether it's ESPN, whether it's Fox Sports, all the same individuals that you have on the mainstream media platforms, where do they go? They all have a channel on YouTube. Now, why would these mainstream media personalities want to come to the independent space where we are and come in our lane?
It's the
Why
same.
would they do that when they made fun of individuals like us for years, reporting on the things we report on because we weren't limited by what the mainstream media dictates to their anchors, their analysts, their color commentators, their reporters, etc.
Well,
We're allowed to freely report.
yeah, and we have more freedom. I mean, even if
100%.
pushing that limit. Oop, that was weird. But Max is pushing that limit. Good on you, Max. You're having fun. You're doing that stuff, and I'm glad that we had a good conversation yesterday because you're still getting a little bit upset. It's like, oh, they're doing this. It's like, dude, you do realize we're entertainers, right? And then as soon as I said that, you're like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we
But
do take it serious because it is a part of our craft that we are honing, mastering, and
oh, yeah,
like Johnny says, we want to make our avocation our
vocation,
vocation.
yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And we want to do it for the right reasons, unlike some of these celebrity multi-millionaire billionaires that say they want to do good and do nothing at all with all the riches and money they have other than want to collect and make themselves even more richer.
There, okay. On that, a lot of people actually do good. I mean, I have
Some, yes, but not all.
yeah. On there, you're more or less getting shine than the ones that are actually like doing like horrible. But I mean, every one of the players have some kind of charity they align themselves as soon as they get like big.
A lot of people don't realize the fact that a lot of the individuals, and I'll use Michael Jordan as a perfect example, he does not gloat and he does not brag about what he does in way of donations.
Oh
He
yeah,
donates millions and millions of dollars to all sorts of different charities that aren't based on anything creed, color, race, religion, etc. Whereas I'll use LeBron James, who built a school and nobody has yet to pass a fucking math test. So just saying, what kind of shit are you teaching in these schools that nobody's learning anything, LeBron? Unless you're one of the teachers. I'm
yeah.
just saying.
Well, off that note, there was the Cowboys actually did something good this weekend. I mean, they won,
They won.
but they did a world record. They did the kicker did like 66 yards, and it wasn't well, like it almost barely getting it. No, that was if it was he could have done it 70 if he wanted to. He could have done a 70-yard kick.
I think it was awesome to watch. I love seeing things like that. That's super fucking cool. And that's, a lot of it also has to do with the fact of the evolution of the game in itself to where you have dome stadiums without worrying about the elements to where you're able to make a kick like that. I'm not saying that it's
Yeah, I don't think
all
you could do. I
related
don't.
on weather. There's an amount of skill, obviously, that it takes to make that happen.
Yeah, I
So
don't think he
kudos
could.
to the
I,
Cowboys
I
for
don't
him.
think he could do that. And what's the field called for?
Lambo,
Yeah,
Lambo in
couldn't
December.
do that. He would not be able to do it in Lambeau Field.
He wouldn't be able to do it at Arrowhead in January.
That's true too.
Yeah, during that playoff game last year against Miami, it was negative with the wind chill. I want to say negative 23, 24 degrees. It was one of the top 5 coldest games on record in the NFL. And people actually had to get certain appendages amputated due to going to the super cold weather game. Now
Really?
that's dedication.
Why didn't you say anything on that episode?
I didn't
You're,
want anybody to feel bad about losing like a finger for
oh, fuck that
saying
shit.
fuck you, Miami. Oh shit, my fucking fingers got frost fucking bite.
That was
Man.
almost as bad because I did a game like that. I went to Air Force in Baylor. It was like negative 15 windshield. Me and my dad went this game, and we were covered. I got frostbite on my nose because we stayed there. We were like, oh yeah. We watched the opening kickoff because Johnny's the one that gave us his tickets, because he thought it was going to be like the Army versus Baylor, and Air Force ended up kicking their patooties. But me and my dad, we stayed there for probably around about 5-6 minutes, and we left. I was like, I'm not dealing with this cold. It's like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this cold either. Let's get the fuck out of here. We went to Cabela's.
Remember years ago, I got a younger brother, 10 years my junior, and I took him to a Chiefs game. This would have been, oh man, probably 15 years ago, if not longer. And it was the coldest game I'd ever went to. It was against the Broncos. And we were bundled up like fucking Christmas Story. I mean, we couldn't fucking move. We just fucking bundled up and shit. And
Yeah.
I wasn't drinking at the time because I was with my little brother. I tried to be responsible and all that stuff. So I just made sure that cannabis was all we did or all I did. Yeah. And it was so cold, we didn't make it through the first quarter. We just got the fuck out of there.
Aren't you
You can't do
Russian?
it.
Aren't you Russian?
We are, and there's a stereotype that is not true. We don't like the fucking cold.
I know.
That's why get the fuck out of Russia. We're used to it. We can adjust to it. Yeah, sure, great.
Have
But
you ever
yeah,
have you ever seen the I think the Swiss, how they get their children used to the cold?
throw them in the ice cold water,
No.
put
No.
them in the freezer.
Close. Close. They have them in the stroller, and when they're going like to cafes and everything, they leave the kids outside and they go inside. That is literally a I mean, they're bundled up. They're like they're not like nude or anything like that. They're not like they're
They're not
wrapped up
exploiting
and
them like they do here in America.
yeah. But they're bundled up, but they leave them out in the cold. It's a tradition.
Tradition. Hey, who am I to say tradition's wrong? I love Fiddler on the Roof. Tradition.
But what other things happen in baseball news? And I don't have any in the NASCAR. I got to pull up the.
I could tell you one interesting story while you're pulling that up in NFL news. A former first round draft pick of the Detroit Lions had a little incident on an airplane. They call it air rage. He decided to urinate during the flight on somebody.
Really? Who is that?
Yes, he is. Let me find this quality individual. Yeah. High standards. I'm telling you.
Well, Austin Ridley of the uh Atlanta Braves, apparently he's missing 6 to 8 weeks due to an injury. Ugh. Apparently the ball hit his right hand. I mean, those go like 90 miles an hour. It hit his right hand like fully on the knuckle. So he's out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, there's some injuries going on during the preseason already. And, the preseason, you can take some stake in and out of it depending on what you want to look at the preseason as. Is it an evaluation of talent, or are you trying to keep as many people healthy as you can while still being able to see and make sure that the evaluation that is given is going to be fair and accurate? But I was able to pull up this story on the Detroit Lions. I'll read it here real quick. This is former Lions first round pick Gosder Shirilis arrested for urinating on plane passenger. Former Detroit Lions first round pick Gosder Shirilis was arrested and charged with disorderly conduct after allegedly urinating on another passenger on a flight to Dublin, Ireland. This is according to the Massachusetts State Police, and that was 5 hours ago. I'm pretty sure it's more than an allegation at this point, and I don't wanna necessarily see the video of a 6'7" guy pissing on another person on an airplane or anything for
Yeah,
that matter, but this is this is the things we don't normally hear about. And there's all kinds of other
that is a strange thing that happens, and it's so weird that it happened up in the air. It you don't, man. I'm
like,
not
there's the
saying.
bathroom.
I mean, how drunk was he? Because that would only explain it. I mean, yes, you have points and times that when you're up in the air in the cat and if you're in the cabin, there's a lot of strange things happen when people in the airplane. I mean, look at that woman that screamed out, "He's not real." You're looking at him, but he's not real. I mean,
To add context to that, as she had a chance to rebut, she said that motherfucker ain't being real. So she was insinuating that she was having a conversation with a real person that wasn't being real.
uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It just leaves you thinking, what the fuck is wrong with this crazy bitch? I know, but it happens. But yeah, to add insult to injury, during the flight here, the NFL player accused of urinating on another passenger, he just happened to urinate on a doctor. Of all the people you want to piss on, you piss on a doctor. Oh man,
I wonder what the context is. The whole fucking thing, though.
officials said
We're
that
just
they
getting
needed to use two sets of handcuffs due to the man's size.
yeah.
Shirley, who previously played for the Boston College and was part of the NFL draft in 08, was charged with disorderly conduct, disturbing a flight crew, and resisting arrest. Dr. Conine Bush, I'm guessing that is a female who the man allegedly urinated on, told the outlet that the former player started engaging in unruly behavior during the flight. I did notice earlier on the flight that he did a lot of vocalizing, not, nonsensical kind of things, and whistled every once in a while, said Bush. The woman was sleeping in her pod when Shirelius began urinating on her, according to police. Bush was going to Ireland to watch a football game between Georgia Tech and Florida State. I cannot believe the copious amounts of urine, the woman said of the incident. My blanket was soaked. There was a puddle in my seat when I got up. and there was urine splattered on the monitor screen in front. This
Yeah.
is on the Independent, and you can find the rest of the article. That's all I'm going to read at this point in time. But he basically, according to this article, pissed on a female doctor and soaked her in so much urine, this amount of urine. Now, does that mean he was drinking? I have no idea. I've never pissed on a woman or really anybody for that, so I'm not sure how that all works out. But that happened on a plane in real life today.
That is.
Yeah.
I got nothing. I honestly got nothing on that one.
No, they have to use 2 sets of handcuffs on this motherfucker. 6'7"
But yeah,
offensive
on
lineman,
that
2
part,
sets of handcuffs.
on that part, yes. I mean, people's wrist working as a correctional officer, there's a lot of times that you had to use leg cuffs for handcuffs. And yeah, and
So
some
2
of you
sets
guys,
of handcuffs, and based on your experience, isn't uncommon based on certain variables like the size of an individual and their hands, wrists, etc.,
there's
and
one guy we had to
based on the amount of threat.
there was one guy that we had to use 3 because he was
Really?
it wasn't because he was fat. It was because he was just built like a shit brick house. He literally he could only get his hands like that much. Like he was huge. Let me. He could get his arms
So
like, but because of his muscle right here,
okay.
I mean, his back muscles are probably around about this huge, and he couldn't put his arms down on the list. We had to use 3 cuffs.
In Demo Ranch, you're welcome for the plug.
Yeah, we tried 2 because 2 cuffs will get you that far. We had to go 3 because you get this far. But on an instance like that, you have to be careful because if he has too much room to wiggle, I mean, we almost had to go to left cuffs to get him his arm reach. But it's not because we want to make that person comfortable. It's because it's a fine line between safety and usefulness, really. Because if you can't grab his arms and put them together to handcuff them, even with 2 cuffs are probably right about this distance. And if you can't get that close and you're straining, one, it's a safety factor. It's uncomfortable with him. He's going to get pissed off. So,
Right.
Okay, we just do it this way. And it's not like we're assholes about it. It's like, oh, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. No, we're like, hey, is this, how far can you run your arm? And it was like, boss, they had to use 3 cuffs on me. I was like, 3 cuffs, really? Okay.
But 3 cuffs got a guy. Like, how do you know that?
Well, I'm doing my job, and there's certain inmates that you're not nice to, but you're just respectful. There's a big difference between being nice and being respectful. And when it comes around to it, I am very respectful at the job that I'm doing. It's not going to be, I'm not going to go out and just treat you like a piece of crap.
You're not going to piss on a female doctor on a plane while she's sleeping and soak her in urine?
She was sleeping? God, this gets worse and worse every time you say something.
What? Who did it?
She was sleeping, so in reality, she wasn't doing jack shit to upset this person, other than the fact that I guarantee you, he got way too drunk, needed to go use the restroom, got confused, and pissed on this doctor. He R. Kelly'd a doctor.
Plane. On his way to a football game in Ireland from Boston.
Are you sure it's not it wasn't the first Notre Dame game? Because the first Notre Dame game they do in Ireland.
I'll double check. Shit. Here we go again. Yeah, it was uh player forced a plane heading from into Ireland to turn around after he urinated on a passenger mid-flight Sunday morning. And this isn't like a 20-year-old kid. This is a 40-year-old man of Wakefield, Massachusetts. He was taken into custody. This happened on Delta, by the way. Nice job, Delta. It gets better and better for you fuckers, doesn't it? Holy shit. Yeah, so the plane was redirected back to Boston, did not make it with him on the flight, pissing all over people to Ireland. And as far as the game goes, so we're not giving misinformation, it was and
Because we don't do that all the time.
Georgia Tech and Florida State.
Okay.
The Seminoles.
Because last year it was Ireland, it was Notre Dame that went. I know that much.
Which would make sense if you think
Oh yeah,
about it.
it makes total sense.
The Fighting Irish, it's not racist. There's nothing racist about it.
Until
Not
you
like
say
it's the
something about
fighting. Until you say, I didn't. Hey, I didn't
it. Or
name
you
the
do
team.
not say anything. It's the
I'm
Firing
not saying
Irish.
a word. It's the Fighting Irish.
Yeah.
They Irish fight and drink and love potatoes. Those aren't stereotypes. Everybody loves fucking potatoes. You ever had a French fry?
Hey Max, just
Yeah.
cut it right there. You can just cut it
Oh.
right there. You're done. Okay.
Sorry.
We're at that stage to where
So-
you need to have your handler reprogram your brain every once in a while, because I mean, you glitch
I just
out
want-
way too much.
I just want
Yeah.
people to be careful on airplanes and not have to suffer getting pissed on by anybody.
Dude, it's a lot worse than you think. There's a there is a thing that's going out now. This happened last, I want to believe last October, November. They're having a problem with the pilots because the pilots are now allowed, because of the whole 9/11 thing, they're allowed to carry guns inside the cockpit. Now, there's been cases here lately that the co-pilot and pilot are getting in an argument, and either the co-pilot or the pilot, whoever has the gun, pulls the gun on the co-pilot. Man, the stuff that happens on planes is ridiculously funny. Once you get like, dude, there is so, because you don't hear a lot of it, but the pilots, and these are pilots that are supposed to keep us safe and on track and everything. And everybody pictures pilots as like, we're coming into LaGuardia Airport, and I hope you. No, but when their mics are off, like, fuck these people. I'm thinking about pushing this whole plane down on the ground. I've talked to pilots that won't run. I was like, yeah, sometimes we do that. We're just like, you know what? Fuck these people. We get in.
Can you imagine, like, one of the flight attendants? I didn't want to say the S word because I don't know if that's allowed anymore. But let's say a flight attendant comes up and goes into the cockpit, talks to the captain, co-pilot, whatever. Like, hey, got a customer over here complaining about the turbulence. Captain's like, fuck that shit. Give me that Glock, motherfucker. Which one is it? Yo, you don't like the turbulence, huh? How you like this gun to your head, motherfucker? Next
Max,
thing you know.
Max, there's literally fights in the pilot cabinet, so I wouldn't be surprised. I've literally and it's. I thought it was like I thought it was something new that was happening because there was a lot of pilots during the epidemic that we had a couple of years back. And me and Max know why I'm being so secretive with the words I'm using right now. But the epidemic that happened a couple of years back. A lot of pilots lost their ability to fly because they didn't get a and if you know, you know. And yes, the reason why I'm bouncing around these words is because the basic fact is we've had episodes taken down because of the words we use. But they get
Why
the
don't you tell them about last week's episode?
well, oh, how I had to how I had to okay. The reason why you probably had to rewatch episode 173 is not because I took it down, but because YouTube took it down. You can catch them all in the full length, and you can see how perfectly good of editing I do on those episodes. Because the episode on YouTube, I figured out the fix way, way after the fact that I finished it and I uploaded it. Because I uploaded it and everything, and I was uploading, and I was like, I was already tired, and I had to go to the work the next day because I was frantic and trying to get this stuff back out. And I was like, I've gone too far. No, I had to do the whole Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. They're like down the hallway. I'm like, I've gone too far, and just keep on going. But the editing job on that one is horrible. But the Rumble and the podcast throughout all the podcasts, it's perfectly fine. But I figured out the fix, all because that we used a screenshot of the Olympics. I'm testing it on this one for the thumbnail and see if I'm right, if it was the thumbnail. But we've used images on a lot of stuff, and we get copyrighted stuff, but it's free use. Like the Psychos and Sociopaths one, I get a copyright ding each and every time I upload it now because it's free use, but they was like, oh, it's free use. We're just letting you know that we know we're watching.
Which at the same time, it's public domain, free use.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know about Ted Bundy? Well, if you don't, then Dave will tell you all about him on his episodes. There's no reason why he can't share that information. It's good information to know.
But what we're getting at is we have like for that one I didn't use a TikTok. I used a YouTube one, which I shouldn't. I just use TikTok because you can use TikTok and it'll probably still getting took down and everything. But here's the thing. What happened is the episode got taken down, so I re-uploaded it and I did some editing. I took away the thumbnail. It's a totally different thumbnail. It's a total the whole what's really strange is the part that got us flagged, I think, because it's up now because I re-edited it and I took out the thumbnail and I took out did the edit. The edit was Chris actually explaining the reason why XYZ, and I needed that in there. So I was scrambling. I had to do some magic and everything. And if you watch the rest of the episode after that looks like a Hong Kong movie from back in the 70s.
Beautiful. It's awesome.
Sound is horribly off.
What do you mean? There's no way such thing would ever be allowed to happen.
Yeah, well, it happened. But anyways,
ray gun.
A ray gun. Oh, she's getting arrested.
You 0 points.
She's getting arrested.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about that because we're not putting up any videos or anything like that. But she's getting arrested
for getting no points.
No, for
embarrassing Australia.
Because all the stuff that Chris talked about Fraud. Hold on real quick. No.
Oh God.
Raygun sends heartbreaking mentions after the Olympics. I thought she was getting arrested for fraud. Because she basically cheated her way. Okay. The B girl known as Raygun tried to wow audience and kangaroo dance, among other moves. However, the judges appeared. Okay.
I believe it's the way that she got on there in the first place with her husband being a part of
Yeah,
the.
I thought I saw an article of her getting arrested or something like that. But I guess I spoke too soon, so to speak. Guess I
Let's see if
swore
there's
I thought I couldn't find anything for right now. But I mean, we did an hour. You want to cut it from here? Because I got apparently a phone call came in. Now I don't know anything on NASCAR or anything like that. I mean, the only
NASCAR.
nerd thing that
lot of
happened
left
this
turns.
week, well, the only nerd thing that happened this weekend was Cinemark had a 1984 blockbuster release of Ghostbusters, and this was the whole entire weekend, and all the tickets were $5 a piece. It was Ghostbusters, Nightmare on Elm Street. What else?
Last Starfighter.
Last Starfighter, Indiana
Indiana
Jones,
Jones.
Zone, and Doom, and Footloose.
Hey, did Footloose?
Yeah, Footloose came out in 84. And it was a blockbuster. It was a hit.
Has it been that long? Am I
Yeah.
that old?
Mind you, I had after watching them, there's so many plot holes that I'm surprised, because the whole thing. I mean, I love those movies. I'll watch them whenever I get a chance to, but there were so many plot holes in those movies. It wasn't even funny. It's like the movie. If you watch the movies now and the movies from back then that were blockbusters, and you're like, how are they blockbusters? There's so many plot holes, but they were entertaining. So, anyways, everybody, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. We pulled it off. We did an hour and 10 minutes, so that's good.
Can I add one more thing to this
God
show
damn it.
before we? It's important. It's got to do with the ray gun thing.
Go ahead.
Okay. On August 11th, 2 days after Ray Gun competed in that thing over in Paris, a change.org petition was published titled "Hold Ray Gun, Rachel Gunn, and Anna Mears accountable for unethical conduct at Olympic selection." Basically, the selection of her being there is quote unquote biased, and that is where the criticism is coming from, seeing as how her husband was on the panel as a judge.
Okay, so it was her husband being on the panel as judge.
Yes.
Anyways, everybody, as always, thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Mad Max the Russian.
And thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. And goodbye. Yeah, the Sizzler Tippers saw Johnny, so he gets to do it because he makes up something new each and every time. But love you guys. Thank you guys.